Hello and good evening. Welcome to my video about my rocks. So on the screen you'll see now what I do when it comes to rocks. The video will be coming very soon. But yeah, I do that any off shift. So maybe 4 times a week. All of these videos are taken for the third set. So I'm a little bit tired and sweaty. I've switched the audio off because I'm just sniffling and just making general unpleasant noises. So this is an 8 kilo kettlebell. I roll it clockwise and then anti-clockwise and then repeat, and then repeat. So I don't do the sets one after the other. I do each rock or item in sequence and then repeat that. This is where I had to go and get some dirt from my garden to dry up my very sweaty, slippery hands. Dirt. And this is the second item that I lift in a squat. It's a 44 kilo basalt rock, which I got from Penguin Island. I saw it saw it at Penguin Island. Came home, couldn't get out of my mind, so I drove 400 kilometers back to get it. Lugged it up a hill, 44 kilos in my backpack, and then drove 400 kilometers home. I do like my rocks. The squat motion I'm doing is not particularly pretty, and it may not even be that effective as a squat, but the motion that I'm getting is obviously tiring and exercising, and I'm kind of getting effort out of my upper quads. All the leather equipment is because rocks bite just by being rocks. This is a broken bit of rock. I previously was doing biceps on a 16 kilo bit of wood, which you'll see soon, but I upped it to 20.6, just a rock from the garden. There's actually a lot of forearm tension in this motion. I'm not sure about the bicep tension, but as you can tell, it's not easy. No rock is. And it's sweaty work. This is a 38 kilogram concrete plug that I found on the side of the road somewhere. When I go walking or whatnot, if I see rubbish, I sometimes will pick it up, and sometimes when they look like they could be hefty, I'll pick them up as well. So rock rescues. This I use for calf raises. What I'm doing here is counting to 6, but doing it like 6 1,000, 6 2,000, 6 3,000, 6 4,000, so up to 6 count, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2, and 1. And it hurts. My skinny nana legs. The Birkin that I'm wearing, the suede leather vest that was made by my sister's workmate Wayne, and it's very, very sturdy. Has held me in good stead for a good couple of years. This is another rescue from a church that was being demolished. So I rescued it. It's 45 kilos, it's bluestone. This is, I call this a Romanian deadlift, but it's not really putting any pressure on the legs, although I've got a very tight butt and quads and hamstrings. I'm really just lifting it to my chest with my arms, I guess. I can only do 10 of these at the moment, and 10 is right at my limit. But I do this 3 times, and I don't have much of a rest between each rock, maybe 30 seconds, less than a minute. Get rid of the gloves, mark up the whiteboard. Here is another Freegan rock. This was one that kind of started it all. Back in COVID days, there was no weights, and I had a thought to get fit during COVID, because what else are you going to do? But there was no weights in the world. But this rock was one of 3 or 4 on a nature strip with a sign that said free. So walking past it, I went home, got my car, came back and chucked them in the back, and here we are, my heaviest rock, my fullsterkur rock. My Ishi rock. It bites really hard. It's 58 kilos, and you go from a squat to you roll it up your chest and then onto the shoulder. You got to be careful, because there's 3 points where it can hurt you. I've nearly dropped this once, and it wasn't pleasant, and there's nothing really to drop it onto. It's just a bit of wood that it's sitting on and concrete, so I don't want to drop it, and I'm not wearing safety glasses, which is not really smart, but yeah. These are roadside rescue as well, just bits of sign poling that were just, I don't know, somebody left it on the side of the road, so I came and picked it up, cut it, bought some bolts from Bunnings, added some chain that I had lying around. So now these are 16 kilos each, and I do a farmer's carry. How's the filming here? Like Quentin Tarantino or somebody needs to get onto this, because check this out. How's the clouds, by the way? Very pretty. I just have my phone resting on top of the wood. I do about 100 steps here, just around the front. God knows what the neighbours think, but I don't particularly care. I'm not doing anything drastic. And the neighbourhood's pretty quiet and tolerant. I'm just some dude in a weird leather vest taking a couple of logs for a walk. But yeah, these hurt, and I can hold them with my thumb and all of my fingers, but towards the end, especially on the 3rd run, my left pinky just goes, nah, I'm not in this at all. But it's getting there. We will get there. Sweaty boy. I've been doing this now for 70, excuse the video, it's back to front, but my editing skills are not the best. But yeah, that's what I'm doing now. 3 lots of that. And then there's stretches, hamstrings, swings, quads, pecs, swings, toes. Oh yeah, I do skipping as a warm-up, 170 skips. I'm not good at skipping, but it's a good way to bump the heart rate up before you start. Yep, sweaty boy. Good on you. This is another rescue. This one is all the way from Melbourne. I was up at the IMAX watching some film, I can't remember what. And this was on the side of a footpath, just doing nothing, looking very lonely and lost. So after IMAX, I drove past, stopped, picked it up, and here we are. It's 37.5 kilos. I really should be wearing a weight belt here because I don't like the arch in my back and the tension in my back. And this is not actually easy at all. I can just do 10. Just. The 10th one on the third set is, yeah, there we go. Yeah, you gotta be careful, mate. Gotta be careful. And it really does hurt, and I really am that exhausted. And this was another roadside rubbish. It's, I don't know, some sort of pole from somewhere. Stuff people throw away or just leave beside the road, man. This is actually very hard. I haven't seen an exercise like this anywhere, but it's basically tension in the forearms and chest and middle. I call it the Eucharist lift. It's 38 kilos, and that looked easy, but every second of this hurts. I'm counting in my head 1, 2, 3. I was doing a 60 count, but I've increased it to an 80 count, although actually on this one I chickened out and only did 60. It hurts. But it's hard to explain, but I'm holding that through pressure in my hands, and you can see I'm shaking. Like, that hurts. And that's actually real. I'm not acting. I'm not that good of an actor. They're like, oh man. Oh, and here I am, bit of nudity. I don't know where all the effort's going. I mean, when I started this 74 days ago or whatever it was, I was 88 kilos and 43 centimeters around the waist, and now I'm 82 kilos and a bit wobbly and 37 kilos. So after all the weightlifting, rock lifting, I like to chuck on some sunscreen and then chuck on a backpack which has a rock and a log in it, which in total weighs 20 kilos. And I go for like a 30-40 minute walk, just listening to music, chilling out. Yeah. Look at how happy that man is. Always put on sunscreen, folks. Check your weather app or whatever you do, but just, yeah, chuck on the sunscreen. Oh, hello, fly. I think at the moment I'm listening to Gday, who, by the way, is touring in France and Belgium in October and August. Not September, but that's her birth month, so I gather she's gone back home. Man, I would love to fly there. I've done the maths on how much it would cost, and it's an extravagant amount of money. But I haven't seen her for... Man, I haven't seen Gday since 2015. Far too long. Sweaty, happy man. Bonjour.